Hi, this is Jason Wampler with another episode of Dimestore Psychology, because that's all it's worth. In today's episode, I spent a little bit of time early this morning, because I was up to about 3:20 a.m., which is kind of standard fare for me. I was watching YouTube videos on psychiatrists and psychologists, or possibly also psychoanalysts. Well, I'm not entirely sure what that means, but there was a lot of discussion on narcissists and narcissism, and I'm here to tell you, obviously I'm not a doctor yet, but I'm seriously considering pursuing, I guess, a double doctorate in both mechanical engineering as it relates to my efforts to run a business in aerospace, as well as human psychology. I'm 51 years old, though that may be a reach that may exceed my grasp. Anyway, hey folks, it just seems to me like Dr. Phil McGraw, I believe that's his name. Dr. Phil McGraw is more of a broad spectrum type of psychiatrist or psychologist. He gets to the bottom of many different types of difficult personalities. But I noticed a lot of these psychiatrists just ride the wave of popularity with regards to certain mental disorders. And my advice to you is, instead of following the trend of focusing so heavily on narcissism, maybe take a back up, try a different approach, like just trying to really figure out things like where these people are coming from, what shaped them, were they born that way, were they trained that, educated and disciplined that way, were they raised that way, and what is a motivator for someone who is a narcissist? Instead of spending so much time interacting with them, focus instead on unusual, difficult personality traits that go well beyond just one finite point. I believe the sphere of logic, as it relates to human psychology, is just that. It's a sphere, and in a sphere, obviously you can how I say, stick a straight line the side of the sphere, but sphere is a round surface that pretty much can face out in any and limitless direction. So can human psychology. I'm just encouraging a more broad-minded approach to understanding and assessing human behavior, and instead of labeling everything as a disorder, label it instead as a characteristic or a quirk, and how to interact accordingly. It's not that there is no such thing as abnormal human psychology or abnormal human behavior. There's just things that aren't the norm. There's not really any good or bad unless it harms other people or breaks the law, or it violates some type of intrinsic human principle or value, such as murder, rape, theft, arson, bigotry, slavery of any type. Things like these, which are basically have been against the law in any social structural village or society or community or culture during the history of man, going way back when. So I'm simply encouraging a much broader approach, understanding human beings instead of focusing on narcissism. And in ourselves, we need to focus on being the best persons we can be. Boy, am I running out of gas. I gotta get gas. I'm sitting in my truck and the truck is running. You know what? I'll just turn it off. There, how about that? The sun's in my eyes. It's a beautiful sunny day. But here's the point. You need to open up your minds. I saw a sticker. I think I mentioned this before, but the sticker said, "Minds are like parachutes. They only work when they're open." So let's not get caught up in our own sphere of logic and say, "No, that's all I need to know." That's not all you need to know. The scientific mind, which I'm striving for, but I don't even have a PhD yet, so woe is me. The scientific mind seeks to search, explore, analyze, gather data, draw conclusions. And this is an endless cycle. The scientific mind is mentally athletic and intellectually agile for a reason. These people, scientists, are always seeking to critically understand the world around them in an ever ongoing effort to broaden the horizons of science and knowledge, things like math, chemistry, biology, anything and everything, technology itself. I'm trying to attain to the scientific mind myself. It's very presumptuous I say so because I don't even have one PhD yet. I'm kind of a college dropout for industrial design engineering, and I have to finish that as well. So I'm thinking I'll do that instead, along with human psychology. But the point is, folks, you got a good thing going, but it doesn't stop there. Psychiatrists are doctors. Doctors are scientists. Engineers can be scientists too. Designers and inventors can be scientists too. You don't stop collecting data. But I'm telling these other, I'm assuming I'm lumping myself in with them, and I can't do that because, I don't have a PhD in human psychology yet. You have to stop following trends and narcissist this, narcissist that, psychopath, sociopath. And in these labels, if you get caught up with so many labels, you kind of overlook the human element, which is basically having to sit down, putting on your best poker face, and looking at them and talking to them and interviewing these people, and trying to understand where they're coming from and what made them the way they are. If you hem yourself in with labels, traits, characteristics, sections, numbers, dates, letters, personality types, you're basically going to be translating a visual representation of somebody into a pad of braille for somebody who can't see. Now, for those who don't have eyesight, braille is the only way they can read, and I praise that. But the thing is, you folks have a scientific mind. If you have a PhD, you've been trained to be mentally athletic, intellectually agile, which means you should be seeking to critically understand more and more. Human psychology is changing as is in parallel with or keeping up with a change in society. Society, in my opinion, is kind of breaking down. Family structure is no more. People are going from bad to worse mentally and intellectually. Well, actually, just mentally, because intellectually, I don't think anybody wants to think anymore. They're too afraid, and I don't blame them. It's scary. It's scary to think. There's more to think about. There's more to look at in the world around you, and this world is a very, very frightening, difficult, boring, unpleasant, and very, very expensive place to live. So society has gone from bad to worse. So that being the case, there's much more to study in the effort to understand human psychology and interdynamics, social dynamics, cultural interdynamics, etc., etc. It is an ongoing effort to understand more and more. So folks, back up, broaden your horizons, broaden your viewpoint, stop labeling things, stop going after one specific type of difficult personality, stop calling things disorders. Just get a well-rounded view of human beings, and then offer some input in the way of corrective advice, adjustments, dropping this, taking on that. Work with people instead of against them. But that's just my advice, and I'm just one person with a lot of opinions. So anyway, we're at the 8-minute mark. My mouth is dry. I've been excessively dry and thirsty lately. I am a human being. I'm 51 years old. My name is Jason Wampler. I own and operate a very small aerospace company. I say we, just me so far, and my friend Scott Faka, trying to get my dad involved. Shout out to my dad, Sam. How you doing, Sam? I love you very much, Father. And we build high-altitude meteorological research class and Doppler class sounding rockets for meteorological and geological survey and data, etc., etc. So it is rocket science, and it requires a lot of effort. But that's just me saying what I do for a living. This morning broadcast is to help people out. But I'm thinking about targeting several groups. Of course, helping women out, which is what I really want to do. Helping women understand men, but I'm also trying to help psychiatrists out because they're just not as broad-minded as they need to be. Back up and just widen your horizons at least by 100 to 200%, and really try to get to the bottom of cause and effect. Why people are the way they are. Stop labeling things with numbers and letters and characters, and stop calling anything a disorder, because people are mechanisms. In a sense, they need to be adjusted, they need to be cleaned up, they need to be serviced and repaired. but they don't need to be completely torn down or written off as evil things or evil people. There's good and there's bad, but again, when you unfairly label somebody and you constrict them to just one personality type, say, oh, you're difficult. Well, of course, everybody's difficult. Everybody has the capacity to be difficult depending on their stressors, their environment, their upbringing, their economic or social status. Things will, pressure makes, mere pressure makes a wise man act crazy. So it depends on what type of environment we're operating in. So turn up the heat, you're going to dance on the skillet, as the saying goes. So anyway, okay, so now we're at the 10-minute mark. I'm blabbering on. So this is it. 10 minutes is all you get. 10 minutes is all I can give. My name is Jason Wampler. I am the host. This is another daily dose of Dimestore Psychology. And we'll talk to you tomorrow morning between, 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. for another. Okay? Bye-bye.